Hello and welcome to today's version of Hope in the Pipeline. I'm Dr. Paul Wiley, Medical Director of Preferred Research Partners in Little Rock, Arkansas, a clinical trial research site. And I'm excited today to talk to everybody about some of the new developments at Preferred Research Partners. It's been a while since I've done this podcast, and we've been busy doing a number of things at Preferred Research Partners. We've been remodeling our facility, and one of the exciting things is that we've added an IV infusion area to our facility, and that's going to allow us to infuse substances that are being developed and currently being tested for treatment of Alzheimer's disease, gastrointestinal disease, autoimmune disease. So excited about that, and it'll accommodate both the volunteer participants in the studies as well as their family members in a day area. So excited about that development for sure. We've also been working and introduced him a few podcast sessions back to develop our diversity program, particularly reaching out to our Hispanic Latino community through Mr. Eric Guzman. And I introduced Eric a few podcast sessions back, and he's continued to be active, and we're pleased to support or to provide support to a number of Hispanic Latino community events in our area. And in particular, we've got some plans potentially to maybe sponsor some summer internships for high school student or college student that might have an interest in learning a little bit more about this field of medicine. So excited about those things. In particular, excited about some new principal investigators coming on staff. So coming up a few podcasts from now, we've got plans to introduce Dr. Adarsh Reddy. And Dr. Reddy is a local private practice psychiatrist. And so he'll be coming on and telling us a little bit about himself and his interest in research. Interesting gentleman to work with, Dr. Reddy is. He's actually got a PhD and an MD, and so a lot of scientific background. So delighted to have him on board. And then especially excited to work with and bring on board. And he's in the studio today, Dr. David Weed. And so, Dr. Weed, welcome. Congratulations. And we're all excited at Preferred Research Partners to be able to team up with you for performance of studies. Dr. Weed is an experienced principal investigator in clinical trials. And so I invited him here today and going to ask him to introduce himself and let everybody know a little bit about his background. And then I think we'll talk as well about some of the in upcoming podcasts about his areas of interest, and these include ADHD and also treatment of pediatric headaches. And so we'll talk a little bit about those. And the good thing is we've got some clinical trials going on in those areas, so we'll touch base on that. So excited in a lot of different ways about Preferred Research Partners. And it's good to be back talking with you guys again today. So with that in mind, Dr. Weed, again, welcome. Glad you're here. I'll turn things over to you and ask you to please introduce yourself to our audience.
Great. Well, thanks, Dr. Wiley. I'm Dr. David Weed. I'm a lifelong resident of Central Arkansas. I grew up in Benton, just south of Little Rock, where I went to high school and graduated there. After high school, I went to Hendrix College in Conway, which I loved and still do. Finished there with a degree in biology and still consider myself to be a scientist. I love that background. I went to UAMS in Little Rock for medical school and then did my training and residency at Children's Hospital in Little Rock. Finished that in 1998, and I've been in private practice in Little Rock area since that time, doing primarily general pediatrics, but some research mixed in over the years. I'm super excited to be part of the team at Preferred Research Partners, and have enjoyed meeting everybody there so far, and really interested in the research and the science, and working on new medications that can help people. It's very exciting for me. Personally, I love being outside. I love to hike. I spend a lot of time on the Ouachita Trail, anywhere between here and Mena. The trail goes for 227 miles, and I'd like to try to do the whole trail in one session, but that would probably take 2 or 3 weeks, and it's hard to spend that much time doing it. Plus, it's a challenge. So I just do day hikes and really enjoy that. I fish a lot. I really enjoy fly fishing, although I'm not a purist. I fish whatever the water dictates. My favorite place to go in Arkansas is probably the White River by Mountain Home, the North Fork area, but that's quite a drive from here, so that's more of a weekend trip. So if I only have a day or so, I typically go to Heber Springs and fish the Little Red River, or even closer, the Saline River outside Benton, Ouachita River, Caddo River, but really enjoy that. I play guitar. I've played guitar for now over 30 years and play almost every day. Consider myself to be a rocker, and really enjoy that. I think it's great for stress relief and anxiety, and it's just fun. I encourage my patients to be active in music because I feel like it's great for them for anxiety and stress relief. I'm a giant sports fan, especially with baseball, and have been my whole life. It's pretty much an obsession. Sometimes could be a problem. I'll look at the baseball websites and information even when it's off season. I follow the box scores and standings and stats every day during the season religiously, and I have since I was little. So that's a little background on me. Again, I'm really excited to be part of the team at Preferred Research Partners, and I appreciate the invitation to be on the podcast today.
Oh, sure. Well, glad to have you, and thank you for your interesting background and letting us know about that. So we share quite a few things in common, David, which is interesting in the sense that both of us, I guess, in our undergrad focused on biology. Mm-hmm. I was specifically in microbiology from that standpoint, but I think, that particular choice of degree really reflects a love of science for sure from that standpoint. And then you did your training at Children's Hospital. And boy, has there been some changes in Children's Hospital since you and I were in residency, for example, now part of UAMS. So what do you remember about Children's Hospital and how it was when you were a resident, and, kind of your favorite part? And then what do you think about some of the changes that have occurred? So,
well, what struck me at first was how friendly the staff was. Both the doctors and all the nurses and everyone. It's just a very welcoming environment. It's a great place to be a student. I loved working with the patients, loved the research there, and I felt like it was pretty cutting edge with treatment. Even when I was in school there. When I went to medical school, I wasn't certain I wanted to do pediatrics, but doing that rotation made it an easy decision. It really is a great advertisement for that field. I also liked the lectures we had at lunch every day. It was a chance to see a specialist and an expert talk about their field and new developments, and that was always interesting. And frankly, the lunch they provided was good too. That was welcome on a student budget. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that too. That was great. But just overall, a great experience. I spent some time when I was there also moonlighting as a flight doctor on Angel Flight. I did that for 2
Oh, wow.
years,
Yeah.
and that was a great experience. It was scary, both because of the patients were very sick most of the time, but also because of the helicopter itself. We flew to virtually every little hospital in Arkansas over that time, and that was a great experience. It helped me feel more confident clinically, and I really enjoyed that.
Wow, what a fantastic opportunity that was. It sounds like that memory for you was a pivotal event in your career and training from that standpoint. I had a similar experience, I would say, when I got to work with the chief medical examiner in Oklahoma City for forensic pathology. And so that was pretty neat. He ended up being the one who did all the autopsies for the 9/11 bombing after that occurred. Yeah. So, but he was a great guy. And so each of us, I guess, were fortunate to have some really good teachers and teaching experiences. So you were at Children's, I guess, hospital, and I was there for part of my training because they used to have the inpatient children's psychiatry units from that standpoint, which aren't there anymore, right? Yeah, from that
it was
standpoint.
Turning Point, right?
Yes,
It was called?
yeah, called Turning Point. Yep, so that was there. And I was wondering whether or not you had any rotations outside of Children's Hospital where maybe they sent you to a rural area in Arkansas.
We had an option to work for a month with a primary care doctor in Arkansas somewhere, and I went to Mountain Home for that month, in part to get away from just the stress of the hospital, and so I could fish every day.
Yeah.
So I stayed in a cabin on Bull Shoals Lake between Mountain Home and Flippin, and worked during the day and fished until dark every day for the month. It was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience of the primary care. The doctor was very nice and welcomed me into his practice for a month, which was great. It was a great month to learn and just to rest also.
Well, I mentioned earlier that we have a number of things in common. And so as you were talking about yourself, trout fishing is something we have in common. And I too share a love in particular for the confluence of the North Fork and White River area, kind of a special area there. A lot of fun. You talk about relaxing when you can be floating down the river and you've got eagles flying by and diving into the river to pick up fish. It's an extremely peaceful time, that's for sure. So I'll share that with you. And I've done a little trout fishing also on the Little Red there behind some cabins that happen to be up there where you can just walk down into Little Red. So it's a nice area. So we'll have to go trout fishing sometime. That would be fun. So, and then let's see. You mentioned another thing about yourself, which I was surprised, but we share in common, which is that I have a couple guitars sitting in my home from that standpoint. And so I am not 30 years into it like you are from that standpoint. So I don't think I have near the capacity you've gotten. Actually, it's been quite a while since I practiced because of the moves I've made right here in terms of housing and things like that. Everything's been packed up and that stuff. But I share your love for guitar and its relaxation and rock music and things like that. So I found that to be interesting as well. So from that standpoint, yeah. And then the most important thing of all, sharing the love for baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. So I probably don't follow things as diligently as you do, but at any point I can generally tell you who's leading the divisions and who's hot and what's going on and things like that. And so excited for the start of baseball season. So definitely. I'm sure we'll have some conversations about that going forward for sure. So happy about that in terms of those shared interests. So for sure. You talked about coming on to preferred research partners, and we try and be a welcoming organization, not only to our volunteer participants and their families, but also to our principal investigators and sub-investigators that work with us. So I'm I'm glad to hear that's been a good experience for you from that standpoint. So I got back recently, David, from the neurology conference, the American Academy of Neurology. And one of the things I think is I was talking with some of the pharmaceutical companies there and looking at some of the research going on is how comprehensive our research site is. We have you for pediatrics at this point. We've got multiple psychiatry and neuropsychiatry, sleep medicine. We've got docs who can do plastics and pain medicine. If we need it, I think we've got an anesthesiologist that would work with us from that standpoint. We've got an ophthalmologist, Dr. Cassiano, and Dr. Cassiano's will be on the schedule as well to come be introduced and talk with us as well. So a lot of research sites are focused on just one area, and our site covers a lot of different area, for example, vaccine trials and things like that. And I think that really reflects what I hope is the in gastrointestinal disorders as well, reflects our ongoing curiosity is the way I want to put it about various areas of medicine. And it sounds like you have that as well as you were talking about yourself. So
I do.
Yeah. So again, on behalf of all the staff from Preferred Research Partners, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And I look forward to you in the next podcast that we have coming up with you talking a little bit about ADHD and I think then pediatric headaches. After that, we're going to touch base on. At the Neuro Conference, boy, there was some focus on pediatric headaches. I can't say that there's new medications out there that are getting ready to head into a clinical trial, although we've got one in trial now. But I think they're always trying to work on, looks like, prevention versus treatment, which would be nice as if, headaches really never started. And so there was a lot of focus in that conference on trying to genetically identify people ahead of time who might be susceptible to having a headache of any type, what type of headaches they might be susceptible to genetically, and maybe taking some steps to prevent that really from happening. So, boy, wouldn't that change the practice of medicine if we got to the point where we were saying, okay, we're just going to, give you this treatment now that prevents you from really ever having the miserable problem versus us having to respond and react to it. So I would think that would be exciting for you. That'd
be great. I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, listeners, thanks for tuning in today. And coming up shortly, we're going to have Dr. Weed and giving us some podcasts and teaching us about pediatric ADHD and his experiences. And then a podcast after that, you can look forward to him talking about pediatric headaches and teaching us about that. And we'll dive into a bit about how that's affected some of the patients in his practice as well. So with that in mind, we appreciate your attention today. If you want to get in touch with Preferred Research Partners, you can reach us at our website, www.preferredresearchpartners.com. And if you have some interest in participating in clinical trials, you can do so through that website by clicking on volunteer for a trial and giving us some of your contact information, and we'll be in touch with you in a couple different ways. Number one, we stay in touch with people. David, just send out a monthly kind of a blog about what's going on in clinical trials in all areas and keep people updated who have a scientific interest of their own. And number two, if there's a specific study that people qualify for, we may reach out to them specifically from that standpoint. You can always also stay in touch with us through a variety of social media ads that we do on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we offer the ability through those media sites to, again, click on a connection link, and you can reach out to us from that perspective. And David, that reminds me, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but we were talking about new developments when we first started this podcast. And I don't know if you've seen Lumi yet.
I have.
Okay. So very excited about Lumi. And so I want to encourage our listeners to take a look at YouTube to what Lumi has to say about some clinical trials. That would be LUMI. And we're excited about Lumi's ability to reach out to folks and to provide some teaching. So that's another new development we've been working on, and look forward to how that affects people's interest in participating in clinical trials for sure. So again, thank you for tuning in to today's podcast of Hope in the Pipeline.